My people, come closer. Bring your mat, settle down and open your ears wide, because the story I'm about to tell you will make you understand that sometimes the biggest fool in the village is not the one who can't read and write, but the one who can't read the room. This story happened in the bustling town of Nkwo Market, where everyone knew everyone's business before you even finished doing it. And at the center of this story is a woman called Adaeze. Now, Adaeze was the definition of what our people call the arrived. Every Sunday, she would step into the church compound wearing George wrappers so expensive the fabric alone could feed 3 families for a month. Her coral beads were stacked so high on her neck, you would think she was preparing for a chieftaincy title. Her handbag was genuine leather, not the fake ones they sell at Balogun Market that start peeling after one rain. The real, imported, I have money and I want you to know it kind. The women in the church would whisper, "See Adaeze o, her husband must be printing money in their bedroom." Her husband's name was Chief Emeka, a big man in the community. He owned 3 plots of land, 2 cars, one for weekdays and one for Sundays, and he sat at the high table during every community meeting. Adaeze would hold his arm like she was clutching a trophy, and everywhere they went, she made sure people saw them. But my people, let me tell you what they didn't see. Behind the gold-plated gate of their large compound, Adaeze was living in a prison made of silence. Chief Emeka didn't beat her with his hands. Oh no, he was too refined for that. He beat her with his mouth. Every single day, from morning until night, he would remind her that she was nothing without him. "You were selling akara by the roadside when I found you," he would say, his voice cold like harmattan wind. "I gave you a name, I gave you respect. Without me, you are just a local girl with no certificate and no sense. So when I talk, you keep quiet. When I spend money on my other women, you smile, because what choice do you have?" And Adaeze, she believed him. She thought the price of the golden wrapper was to swallow her voice and accept that a man who provides financially doesn't need to provide respect. Now, while Adaeze was smiling in public and dying in private, there was another woman watching. Her name was Ngozi. Ngozi was Adaze's friend, or at least that's what Adaeze thought. But my people, some friends are like termites. They smile at your table while eating the foundation of your house. Ngozi would visit Adaze's house and marvel at everything. "Sister Adaeze, this is your parlor set. Is it imported? Sister Adaeze, your husband bought you a new gold necklace. You are blessed oh." But inside, Ngozi's heart was boiling with envy. She would go home to her small room, look at her cheap wrapper and think, why should Adaeze have all this while I'm here suffering? If I can just get close to Chief Emeka, I can enjoy this life too. So, Ngozi started her mission. She began coming to the house when she knew Adaeze would be at the market. She would bring Chief Emeka his favorite, a cold bottle of soft drink and meat pie, still warm from the oven. Chief, she would say, her voice sweet like condensed milk. "I was just passing by and I thought a big man like you needs to be taken care of properly. My sister Adaeze is lucky, but even lucky women need help." Chief Emeka, with his pride as big as a water tank, would puff up his chest. "You are a wise woman, Ngozi, not like some people who think marriage means they can relax and stop trying." The visits became more frequent. The drinks became home-cooked meals. The conversations became longer, softer, closer. One day, Adaeze came home early from the market. She had forgotten her purse. When she walked into her own compound, she heard laughter coming from the parlor, her husband's deep chuckle and Ngozi's high-pitched giggle. She stood by the door and listened. "Chief," Ngozi was saying, "Adaeze doesn't appreciate you. A king like you deserves a woman who knows how to worship at your feet, not one who is always looking tired and worn out." Chief Emeka laughed. "You understand me, Ngozi. You see me for who I am, a big man, a provider.
unlike my wife who takes everything for granted. My people, if it were some women, they would have burst through that door and started scattering furniture. They would have pulled Ngozi by her synthetic hair and dragged her out into the street. But Adaeze, she stood there quietly, her hand on the door frame, and something shifted inside her. She realized that she had been so busy trying to look blessed on the outside that she had forgotten to check if she was actually blessed on the inside. She had been performing happiness for a community that didn't care if she was dying as long as she looked rich. And in that moment, looking at Ngozi sitting in her chair, drinking from her cup, trying to take her place, Adaeze didn't feel anger. She felt clarity. Let her have him, Adaeze whispered to herself. Let her have the insults, the disrespect, the golden cage. I'm done performing. From that day forward, Adaeze changed. But not in the way you think. She didn't confront Ngozi. She didn't cry to Chief Emeka. Instead, she started planning her exit like a military general. First, she went to the market and quietly asked her old Akara customers if they still remembered her. They did. They told her, "Sister Adaeze, your Akara was the sweetest in this whole market. If you start again, we will buy." Then she started saving. Not in the house. Chief Emeka controlled everything there. She saved with a woman in the market. Small money. 1,000 naira here, 2,000 there. Money Chief Emeka didn't even notice was missing because he was too busy buying gifts for Ngozi. She enrolled in adult education classes at night, telling Chief Emeka she was going to prayer meetings. She learned to read and write properly, something she had always been ashamed she couldn't do. And all the while, she let Ngozi get closer and closer to Chief Emeka. She would even create opportunities. "Oh, Ngozi," Adaeze would say sweetly, "can you please take this food to my husband at his shop? I'm not feeling well." Ngozi would jump at the chance, thinking Adaeze was a fool. The community started talking. "Have you seen how Ngozi is always at Chief Emeka's place? Adaeze must not know what is happening under her nose. Poor woman, wearing all that gold while another woman is stealing her husband." But Adaeze heard the whispers and smiled. A real smile this time, because she knew something they didn't know. After 1 year of planning, Adaeze made her move. It was a Sunday morning. She woke up, bathed, and instead of wearing one of her expensive wrappers, she wore a simple dress. She packed one small bag, just her certificate from night school, her savings book, and one photograph of her mother. She left everything else: the gold, the beads, the fancy handbags, the imported shoes, everything. She walked to the parlor where Chief Emeka was reading the newspaper. "I'm leaving," she said simply. Chief Emeka looked up, surprised. Then he laughed. "Ha ha! Leaving to where? You think you can survive without me, without this house, without my name?" Adaeze looked at him, really looked at him, and saw him clearly for the first time. Not as a big man, not as a provider, but as a small, insecure person who needed to make others feel worthless to feel powerful. "You are right," she said calmly. "I couldn't survive before, but I'm not that woman anymore. Keep the house, keep the gold, keep Ngozi. I'm taking something more valuable, my peace of mind." Chief Emeka's face went red. "You ungrateful woman, after everything I did for you?" "You gave me things," Adaeze said, opening the door, "but you never gave me respect. And I finally learned that I'd rather have nothing and my dignity than have everything and lose myself." She walked out. Just as she reached the gate, guess who was walking in? Ngozi, dressed in her finest, carrying a covered dish, ready to play house. They stood face to face. Ngozi's eyes were triumphant. "So, you are finally leaving? Good. Some of us know how to appreciate a real man." Adaeze smiled, a genuine, free smile. "Ngozi, my dear sister, the house is all yours now. The big man is waiting inside. Everything you dreamed of is now available. I hope you enjoy every single second of it." Ngozi frowned, confused by the lack of fight, but her greed was louder than her sense. She hurried inside. 2 hours later, the first scream came from the house. Chief Emeka, now that Adaeze was gone, he didn't need to pretend anymore. The community no longer saw him with a respectable wife on his arm, so he didn't need to play the respectable husband. The mask came off completely. Ngozi realized that the sweet words he used to lure her in were the same words he had used on Adaeze. The meals she cooked were never good enough, the way she dressed was never right, she wasn't the village girl he rescued, so she was even more worthless in his eyes. "You think you are better than Adaeze?" he would shout. "At least she knew her place. You are just a common husband snatcher." Within 6 months, Ngozi looked like a ghost. The fancy wrappers became oversized rags on her shrinking frame. The women who used to envy her now pitied her. And Adaeze? She went back to selling akara, but this time, with her education, she registered a business, got a small loan, and within 2 years, she had 3 girls working for her. She rented a small, clean room that smelled like fresh bread and freedom. She laughed when she wanted to laugh. She cried when she needed to cry. She answered to no one. One day at the market, she saw Ngozi. Her former friend looked worn, tired, defeated. Their eyes met. Ngozi opened her mouth to speak, maybe to apologize, maybe to beg for advice on how to escape. But Adaeze simply nodded, bought her akara, and moved on, because some lessons people have to learn themselves. My people, moral of the story: before you fight to take another woman's place, ask yourself why she might not be fighting to keep it. Not every throne is worth sitting on. Some crowns are made of thorns painted gold. And remember this: the woman you think is losing might actually be winning her freedom. My people, I have spoken. May your eyes see the cage before you fight to enter it. May your sense be sharper than your envy. And may you value your peace more than people's praise. Until we meet again, walk well.